Hi guys, welcome back to, I've lost track of what week we're on, week 7 of Zero to Hero in the watch world. We've had a really busy week. It's currently 8:15 on Friday morning, first time I managed to sit down and get any video content done. So today, we've got to fly over to Manchester, we've got to fly over to Leeds to get a bits done in both those cities, and we're going to go through a load of new stock I've had come in this week. Some really cool watches, some different watches to what we normally have as well, which is nice. We've done a few pretty big deals this week that I've sort of been at the front of, so we're going to go over those. That's going to be fun. And a funny mistake. So been a very, very busy, hectic week, but let's go over it together and follow along to see what another day in the life of a watch dealer is like. Something quite fun. I managed to source my own dream watch this week. This is a Rolex Datejust 16220, and it's the serial sort of suggests it's from 1989, but it was sold in 1991, which isn't my birth year, but it was sold on my birthday, which I think is really, really cool. I've always wanted a tapestry dial Datejust, and ever since working here, I've had this staring at me from my desk. So it's been a bit of a reminder that I really, really, really want to try and find this watch, and albeit that one's not a champagne dial, this one is. This is my absolute dream watch, and yeah, I've got it on, which is really cool. Just a quick one there. So, new stock, plenty of it, and we've been trying some new things recently. The first of which, we've only ever had 2 or 3 tags in at all, but we've never had a Monaco, and it's a really, really cool and really cool silver dial or grey dial. It's a 2020 version. This one is 1 of 1,000, and if anybody knows TAG Heuer, everybody knows that they make loads of limited editions, so 1 of 1,000 doesn't mean a lot, but it's still pretty cool. It's a really, really, really nice watch, 39mm, but looks huge, so I really like that. But we've got plenty of other bits in. This is a cool watch. Don't see these very often. Rolex Cellini. This is a 2021 model, rose gold. Lovely, lovely, very classy watch. This one, as well as this, another watch we don't have very often in here. A Breitling chronomat. Nice watch. Not my personal choice of watch, but it's a nice watch. Really cool, rose gold. It's got the rose gold bracelet as well. But this and the Cellini are the reason I'm off to Leeds today, because I've already got these placed with a client. So we're going to go and try and get that deal done. But this is the interesting thing about all of this. Aside from this Rolex Daytona here, which is really, really, really nice, 116520. I mean, impeccable condition, that one, 2006. Aside from that, sorry, 2007. Aside from that, all the watches here, so this Cellini, this Heritage Black Bay, this Breitling, we've got a 2001 16610, and a really, 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 really cool blue Pelagos. The blue just pops on this, it's amazing. But all of these, aside from the Daytona here, all came from existing clients, either as Part X's, which was the Breitling, the Tudors, and yeah, the Breitling and the Tudors, they were both Part X's, and then the Submariner and the Cellini we just bought back off existing customers. So we sold these before and bought them back. That is how we get most of our stock, which is interesting. But yeah, really cool stuff, really different stock, especially with things like the Breitling and the Monaco. So it's really nice. It's been quite refreshing this week, seeing different things. We've got some of them placed, and we're gonna just see where we go from there. But yeah, nice new stock. A friendly reminder to be careful with watch tools. I just found out how sharp that is by going through a finger of mine. Ow! Yeah, whoops. That's one mistake already. There's more to come. So, as I'm doing this, I'll go through some interesting mistakes of the week, I think. There's 2 glaringly obvious ones this week, which isn't great, but hey ho, you've got to learn somehow, haven't you? I had a customer come in the other day, and he's a return customer, really nice guy, bought a few bits from us before, And so yeah, always so great to deal with, really nice guy. He came in, he bought a bimetal Daytona with a diamond dial, a 116503 reference. And what else did he buy? Oh, and he bought a 2021 Batgirl. Both really nice watches. And when I'm in here on my own, without boss man Dan looks after all the payments and things like that. So I have to make sure that when payment comes in, I confirm with Dan that he has got the payment. Anyway, I rang him to say this is what the deal is and the payment should be coming through now. And I thought he said payment received. He hadn't received payment yet. So there we go, I let the customer leave with those watches. So that's 25-ish thousand pounds of watches. Let him walk out the door with. Now luckily, he's a really, really nice guy and we've worked with him before and all of this. So I gave him a quick ring and I just said, I've just let you leave with without receiving payment. And so he said, oh God, let me sort it out. And luckily the bank had just blocked it and it was sending it out. But there you go, that's the story of how I let a customer walk away with nearly £26,000 worth of our stock. And then the other mistake of the week, this week, was to do with an older reference Daytona that we bought in. And I was doing the checks on it. It was a really, really, really cool Zenith from 1996 or 7, I can't exactly remember now. Still had stickers on it, in perfect condition. It'd been worn a couple of times, yeah, you could see on the clasp and things like that, but never polished, never really properly worn, anything like that. Stunning watch. And I was going through all of my checks, everything was fine, doing my check sheets. I've never seen one of these sets before. So I was checking the booklets, I thought it had all the booklets, it had both tags, great, that's really important on a set of that age. It had the paperwork, the booklet for the paperwork, everything like that. So I said it's fine and bought the watch. Anyway, it didn't have a Daytona booklet, and the Daytona booklets from the 90s, I didn't know this until I found out afterwards, they're like anywhere from 300 to 500 quid, so it didn't have that. Anyway, doesn't matter now, we've got it. And we're going to find a home for it and priced accordingly and all of that. But that could have been, well, that was a £300 to £500 mistake. So it's just, there's so many things you got to watch and be careful of. And that time, that caught me out. What can you do? So let's talk about a pretty cool deal we've had go across the line this week. And it was either last week or the week before, I can't remember when I showed this watch. But we talked about this. It's a Submariner reference 126619LB. This is a 2022 model. It's the full white gold Submariner with the blue bezel and the black face, known as either the Blueberry or the Cookie Monster, whatever you want to call it. It's the blue sub. I don't mind. Anyway, I showed this because it's a really cool watch. And if you see one of these from across the room, you know what kind of person you're dealing with straight away. This is a proper watch, full white gold, it's heavy in the hand. I love this thing, I think it's so cool. Anyway, we took another one in, a 2021 model, and we had then both a 2021 and a 2022. And I had a really, really nice customer ring up. First time he dealt with us, but he deals with a lot of other dealers across the country, is what he was telling us. Super, super nice guy, big into his watches. He was showing me his big case. I like big cases full of watches. Anyway, he was after one of these. And this is the deal where we took that TAG Monaco, we took the Tudor Pelagos, and we took that Breitling, all in Part X for one of these. And to be honest, that is my favourite kind of deal, is when we can send off a lovely, lovely watch like this to a new home where I know it's going to be used. That's the main thing. I think it's sacrilege that these things just end up in safes. He's going to use that watch, he's going to love that watch, and we've ended up with 3 really cool watches that, you know, maybe we wouldn't go looking for, specifically anyway. We might not go looking for those watches, but we've now got 3 really cool watches that we wouldn't always stock, but there's definitely somebody who wants those watches out there. So now we just got to find him and place those watches to their new homes as well. So yeah, my favourite kind of deal is that, and probably on a watch like this, my biggest deal to date. So that's nice as well. We'll keep them going, but yeah, it's going well. I should also mention, I think I have a client coming in this morning as well before I have to fly off, who might be part Xing a Omega Seamaster. So that's another really cool watch for us. Things like that are doing really well at the moment. Smaller bits, fast movers, in and out, love them. And do you know what? They're really lovely watches. The Tudors, the Omegas, they're every bit as good as any other watch on the market, but for a fraction of the price. So happy with that. We'll see how that deal goes, and I'll catch up with you probably in the car. Guess we forgot to film in the car. Yeah, we forgot to film in the car. But we dropped a few bits off in Manchester to get a polish. They get professionally done over there. It's fantastic. They come back amazing. And then we went and did that deal in Leeds, so you didn't miss much, but I forgot to film it. So, we're back from our trips. We've got some bits dropped off to be polished professionally, which is cool. They'll come back looking spot on. We've had all sorts of watches go recently, like a bimetal Daytona diamond dot dial. I was talking about it earlier. It's one of the watches I let that guy walk away with the other day. That went for a quick polish, and it was pretty scratched up before it went. When it came back, it looked mint. So I can't wait to see these watches when they come back as well. And we're back from just dropping off the Cellini and that Breitling off in Leeds. So they're off hopefully to a happy new home. And yeah, that was nice and easy. Really, really nice afternoon, really. But I thought I'd use this opportunity to just talk about these. So, 2 Datejusts. I've gone on about this one already. This is my watch now. What I'm calling Dream Watch. We'll see if it's the watch I stick with forever. Probably not, but for now, I'm pretty happy with this. It's great. And then this was we bought this from a customer last week who actually, when he was in, told me he watches some of these. So I won't name you, mate, but if you're watching, nice to see you. This is a 2026 Datejust 36, as opposed to my 1989. Or 1991 when it was sold, but serial matches 1989. But yeah, this is a 2026 and it hasn't been won. It's a really cool watch, but I thought I'd just run over a few of the differences because they're not massive, as you can see. You know, in 35 years, not a lot has changed, but there's a few key differences. Now, one thing that's not the same about these is that mine has got what they call the engine turn bezel, as opposed to this one, which is the fluted bezel. So the fluted bezel is white gold, and then the engine turn, I didn't know this until the last couple of weeks, engine turn bezel is a steel bezel, which it kind of has the same fluted effect. I'll try to get them up close. Kind of has that same fluted effect, but it is steel, not white gold. Now, the cases on these are pretty similar. A little bit, sort of tiny bit chunkier on the newer one, but it's barely anything in it, to my eye anyway. In fact, it probably isn't really, but this has just been worn. The watches are incredibly similar. If I'm looking at them like this, the only difference I can really tell is the bezel is a little bit bigger. Obviously, the batons are different between the two. The clasp on the Jubilee bracelet is wildly different. So these modern ones, the bracelet, I mean, obviously it's brand new, so there's no sag in it compared to mine, which isn't bad for its age, but the bracelet on these is a lot more robust than these older ones. These are just sort of flick apart like nothing. Both really cool watches, but it's really interesting to see how in 35 years there's barely any differences. One thing that is much better on these modern ones is the way that the Jubilee bracelet integrates into the end links better. It's just much nicer on these new ones, but for a pretty cool sort of vintage charm effect, I'm actually kind of leaning towards that one. I am biased because it's mine, but yeah, just thought I'd zero in on these 2 watches today. Nice watches. So yeah, all in all, a bit of a weird week really. I've sold a lot less sort of, I've sold a lot less of the smaller Rolex pieces and a lot less of the steel sports Rolex pieces than normal. We've been getting a lot of interest on some bigger watches, such as the Cookie Monsters, and we've had a lot of interest on things like Rose Gold Yacht Masters, and yeah, bigger watches like that. And we've also had lots of interest on the smaller bits, so all of the Tudors, the Amigas. We've got a really nice Seamaster in stock actually at the moment, but we've had a lot of interest on the higher stuff and the lower stuff, which is kind of interesting. It makes sense because stuff like white gold is incredible value for money at the moment. When you look at things like a brand new Pepsi going for nearly £17,000 for a 28, late 25, early 26, and then you can get the white gold version for maybe 5,000 more, maybe even less than that. It's just the market for white gold, and even to a certain extent solid gold watches at the moment, it's pretty crazy. So we're seeing a lot of that. I mean, the Daytona has always been crazy, but the 116520 versus the 116503, you're talking, we had a diamond one, diamond dot 116503, and that was up for nearly £4,000 less than just an all steel 116520. So yeah, the market's strange, as the market always is, but it's been interesting to sell some of these really quite interesting precious metal stuff, and just to get to grips more with some of the smaller pieces, because I've sort of learned a lot of the Rolex references now, so now I'm getting there on the Tudor stuff. Nobody's ever going to learn the Amiga references. If you can roll off the Amiga references, hats off to you, but yeah, I can't remember that many numbers. It's like trying to remember pi. Anyway, that's another day in my life, and it's been a busy week, but I'm going to sign off here. I'll see you next week. Cheers.